Hello, dear viewers. Welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. This is a new character, just fresh out of the village outside of the Dungeon of Zot, and this is Mr. Higgenbottom. He's a Demonspawn Gladiator. So first thing we're going to do, turn off fighting and throwing and dodging and leave on axes. I wanted to do axes. I've been covetous of some axes that I've seen on other characters lately that I haven't been able to use because I've been wielding other types of weapons for whatever reason. The axes are excellent. The Executioner's Axe has one of the highest base damages in the game, and they cleave. Currently in a 5-tile... Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5-tile sort of semicircle around the direction you're attacking. So if you're attacking this square, these will all be hit. If you're attacking this square, these will be hit, etc., etc., and so on and so forth. The only downside that I can think of to axes is that they make you kind of vulnerable to hydras in the lair. And also, Executioner's Axes are quite rare. It's hard to find them prior to the sort of the endgame, extended endgame area. You're lucky if you find one before there. Okay, sharp spines. We have sharp spines. Demonspawn mutate. It's nice. You get 5 slots, 3 ranks each. Sharp Spines is one of our Tier 2 slots. We'll eventually be completely covered in Sharp Spines, and it's basically a retaliatory strike against anything that hits us in melee combat. Guardian Spirit. Okay, that's fine for now. Guardian Spirit applies the Spirit Shield effect, which splits damage between your health and your mana. Basically gives you sort of pseudo extra hit points. Very, very good for us right now because we're not using our mana for anything else. Yeah. One thing to note with axes, while they can cleave, and that's very good, don't intentionally surround yourself with enemies to make use of the cleave. It's generally a poor decision, unless you know that you are far, far, far stronger than anything that you are fighting. Just making use of the tab key here. Oh, well, that worm beat us up a little bit. The reason why I continue to use the tab key even against that worm when we were at such low health is because we can always run away from the worm. We are not scared of the worm. Tab automatically attacks the closest enemy to you, and if there are multiple enemies that are equally close, it attacks the one that you've already damaged, or in the absence of one that you've already damaged, one that you have, or the one that is the most powerful according to the game, the highest hit die monster. Okay, Strength, Intelligence, or Dexterity. I don't think I want to bother with spellcasting on this character. I've had some headaches with spellcasters lately, and it's been a little frustrating. So the question then is Strength or Dexterity? Generally speaking, Dexterity is better than Strength. And the tricky this is a trickier choice for Demonspawn than for many, because several of the Demonspawn mutations depend on the presence or absence of like armor class and contribute to different stats in varying degrees. So we don't know exactly yet what we're going to be going for in this particular build. The reason why I'm hemming and hawing a bit is because I really need to look up axes here real quick. Yeah, okay, so the strength weight is what I was curious about, and that's what percentage of the weapon's damage and accuracy it comes from which stat. And axes, which I have decided we are going to do, are very heavily weighted towards strength. The broad axe and the battle axe, I mean, even the hand axe is 60% strength weighted. The war axe, which we're using right now, is 70%, so, you know, pretty hefty. But then the broad axe and the battle axe are each 80%, and the executioner's axe is 90% weighted towards strength. So we're going to get, generally, more benefit from strength than dexterity. In fact, the Executioner's Axe is the only weapon in the game, aside from the Giant Club and the Giant Spike Club and the Great... Well, okay, the Great Mace. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Okay, so, yeah, so we really want strength. The reason why I would want to put it into dexterity is because of our Sharp Spines mutation, which it becomes less effective the higher your armor class is. So you generally, to make the best use of that, you want to go high evasion, low armor class. However, I'm okay with sort of saying that our Sharp Spines are more or less a wash, and we just won't expect them to do any damage for us. For a couple of reasons. First, again, Axe's strength weighted. That's very good. Secondly, I just like having a really high armor class in the late game. I find that evasion sort of comes naturally eventually once you train your dodging skill up high enough. And if you have a high enough strength to wield the armor that you're wearing, your evasion is just a nice bonus. The armor class, a high armor class, in my mind, is more consistent. And strength is generally better for getting gaining access to higher armor class armors. So I think, at least for now, we're going to put points into strength. Sharp Spines emerge from more of our body. Woo! Early on, this certainly won't matter because we have only this leather armor, and our armor class is only 4, and our evasion is high, etc. So these Sharp Spines should do some work. It's a very good early game mutation, which is why I'm happy that we not only got it first, but that we got the second rank of it second at level 3. That's quite good. I like the Gladiator setup. You get a sort of second level weapon. The hand axe is level 1, war axe is level 2, broad axe is level 3. However you want to categorize them. Vehumet. Ah, shucks. The one time that we... Wow. Zaps a wand, huh? Let's... Oh, dear. Potion of Curing. Okay. Man, this wand is just tearing us up. There we go. Wand of Frost. He zapped us 8 times with it. No wonder. Very painful. Had to use 3 potions of Curing in that encounter, but we couldn't really have run away at that point. We maybe could have approached that room differently, but really it's just Dungeon 2, you run into stuff like that. Stuff can kind of just instantly kill you, and there's not much you can do about it. When you get to the lair, roughly, is the time where you're not allowed to complain anymore if you die. I mean, you can certainly complain, but it's generally your fault, and not just... I got, screwed over by the random number generator. You can always blame him if you want. A great sword, that's very interesting. The time I go axes instead of swords. I get very greedy with weapons. I want to wield all of them. I want to be able to use every single weapon, even though you can only use one at a time, and so that's very, very wasteful to train more than one weapon skill. The only time that I train more than one weapon skill is if, say, in the next level or 2, we found a crazy artifact, something else, polearm or whatever. And in that case, 5 levels or so of experience is not too significant, especially in sort of the extended end game. You can train something up to level 5 in no time. But once you get up to level 10, especially like level 15, 20, well, 20 for sure, but 15, maybe 10, probably. You've invested too much to just entirely abandon the skill, unless you intended it to be a stopgap for the early game only. For example, you knew for certain that you were going to be using 2-handed weapons in the late game, but you wanted to put points into shields early game so that you could make use of their defensive capabilities while you were still searching for a powerful weapon. That's a legitimate reason. It will slow you down, but... Okay, what do we have here? Spells. Well, Currently, there's no reason for us not to memorize this spell. Confusing Touch, sure. We'll give it a shot. We can't really cast it, but, you know, if we happen to find, like, if this is a Ring of Wizardry, no, Ring of Invisibility, that's not great yet. Invisibility has a very small window where it's useful. Oh, it's a black bear zombie. That's why it's hurting us so much. Well, we'll probably die here, actually. Oh, no, we got it. Good. That little puppy dog tile, looked like a poodle zombie, not a black bear zombie. It was very misleading. Sigmund, this is just a really rough run, dear viewers. I feel like we've had a really tough start to this, but, well, okay, we continue to prevail. That's excellent. Still only having used those 3 potions of curing. Which is fine. I mean, that'll make some parts of the early game a little tougher on us, but potions of curing are a dime a dozen. A cursed pair of boots. Oh no. That's fine. They're, you know, curse plus 0, so it's not penalizing us. We are still getting an additional point of armor class off of them. Yeah, basically, the sharp spines benefit is never ever worth leaving an equipment slot empty. I can't think of too many circumstances where you would want to completely forgo having boots, say, just for the sharp spines mutation. Oh, and grinder. Golly. Okay, let's get him around here. Pull him back to here. He will show up. And just hope that he doesn't kill us too quickly. Oh, I got him. Okay. Well, there we go. That was fun. Okay. Yep, we'll continue putting points into strength. And we lost our helmet. Because we gained antennae. That's a little disappointing in the sense that horns would be more beneficial to us directly as a melee character. It would give us an additional auxiliary attack in melee combat. But I find that the like horns attacks and whatnot tend to fall off in the very late game, and if we had horns instead of antennae, we would have a rough time getting access to See Invisible, and rank 3 of antennae gives us See Invisible. So that's nice. And it's also kind of cool. It lets us sense monsters nearby. And I think maybe the later levels provide some passive magic mapping. Maybe not. But at least, you know, sense monster, which is cool. It lets you know if you can blunder around a corner, or if you're trying to run away from something into the dark because you had a poor level setup or something. Orcs. Many orcs. See, this is one of those instances where I'm okay having 2 enemies hitting me at once in exchange for me killing them more rapidly with my cleave. Yes, no. Because orcs really, by themselves, regular orcs pose no threat to you. Pretty much at any point in the game. The exception is, of course, if they have some crazy weapon that they picked up somewhere in the dungeon, or just came naturally equipped with their family heirloom artifact dagger or something. I mean, even a dagger of venom can be somewhat rough. And if you get 2 layers of orcs attacking you, that can be problematic. If there are polearm wielding orcs that are attacking from behind their buddies, that can be really inconvenient. A shiny chainmail, I like the look of that. A +2 chainmail of positive energy. Okay, so armor class 6 evasion, or armor class 11 evasion 6 versus armor class of 4 evasion 12. I think I am going to go ahead and make the switch to... Oh, no, I don't have any points in armor yet. I am going to turn on armor and focus axes. And once we get a few points into armor, we will pop on this chainmail and make use of it. In the meantime, we'll stick with our leather armor. What was it, 11 and 6 versus 4 and 12? Yeah, our net defensive stats will be higher if we put on the chainmail now. But the problem is, without some more points in armor, it will hinder our melee attacks because of its high encumbrance rating. Chain armor I also like as, like, 15 encumbrance rating, rather, is sort of the cutoff at reasonably being able to cast level, I don't know, 6, 7 spells, somewhere around there. I think 15 is just too much for level 9 spells, level 8 and 9. Not to say that it's not possible, but it's certainly, I needed to get closer to that priest, is why I rushed forward there, so that he didn't just smite me from behind his meat shield. What was I rambling on about before that? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, 15 encumbrance rating is too high for pure spellcasters, basically. And a Ring of Teleport Control, interesting. So we would definitely want to train evocations, which is fine by me, because as a Demonspawn we get a +1 bonus to evocations. It's one of our few positive aptitudes. Most are negative, or 0. Invocations being our best, we will definitely want to worship a god with some sort of invocable ability as a result. Sadly, as a Demonspawn, we are forbidden from worshipping the Shining One, Alivalon, or... speaking of gods. Alivalon, the Shining One, or Zin, the 3 good gods. Okay, who do we have here? I really want Okawaru. That would be ideal. But it doesn't appear that we have him available yet. Well, Nemelex Zobe is an option, although I kind of want to hold off on doing a Nemelex run until after 0.15, when they change up the cards, making them a little less random, a little less difficult to obtain. Now let's test out this wand. Wand of Flame. Okay, not awesome. Scroll of Identify. Lots of orange potions this time. Interesting. And what is this? Scroll of Random Uselessness is certainly useless. Magic Mapping is good to have. Remove Curse is good to know. And Enchant Weapon 1 is fine to put on our axe for now. Okay. Oh, what's this one? Scroll of Noise. Okay, good. I like identifying scrolls in the temple, just because it's entirely safe. And let's identify these other 2 potions while we're at it. Potion of Poison. I'm glad we got rid of that. Okay. So we have some stuff. We can also drop off this book here. It's unlikely that a slime will make its way down there, and if we choose, we can eventually transfer it over to our stash, should we decide to ever go the spellcasting route. I didn't worship a god just yet, because I wanted to see if Okawaru is somewhere on this level. And I really like Okawaru. I could do Fadas Madash. I haven't worshipped Fadas Madash in years. Real-time years. Making sure we haven't found him elsewhere. Okay, yeah. So who have we found? Ashinzari. I do like Ashinzari. Kikubakudka would be an option. Go sort of a necromancy route. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Fadas Ashinzari or Kikubakudka. Don't want to do Vehement. That seems like a poor choice. Okay, So, are any of these good enough that we would want to worship them now? The only 2 that I'm really considering are Ashinzari and Kikubakudka. Ashinzari is the Shackled God, and she is really kind of cool. She identifies a lot of stuff for you and gives you passive magic mapping, and you can see through walls at a certain point. But she doesn't... She only has the 1 invocable thing, and I kind of want to make use of our good aptitude for invocations. Yeah, and Kikobakuka is really only good if you want um, to cast necromancy spells. Though it would protect us from torment, which is very good. Well, yeah, I don't really like either of those. Yeah, Kikubakudka's only invocation is... Yeah, is Torment, which isn't affected by invocations. Okay, so... Yeah... I guess like Okawaru isn't really an invocation kind of god either. Yeah, we're gonna keep searching. I don't want to worship Ashinzari or Kikubakuka this game. Maybe Kiku like super late game, although we may just die to goggles here. Deep Dwarf Fighter of Okawaru. Well, I think for this, we actually do want our heavier armor. Let's just try to take him down. Oh, that won't work at all. Nope. Okay, so we get to avoid goggles. Oh, and we've been drained. Glory of glories. You could tell because our skills are purple. I forget sometimes that we have weird skill points in throwing because of our... yeah. Because of our Gladiator background. I often forget about that. Not that throwing is super useful, but it's nice to remember that we have those nets. Like, that really came in handy there. Maybe could have used it against goggles. Ooh, actually, it's kind of nice that we found this blowgun. Blowguns also operate off of the throwing skill. So we can, against living enemies at least, have those poison needles as a nice little alternative to rushing in and bashing things with our face. La-di-da-da-da. Okay, how often... Yeah... Looks like... somewhere between a quarter and half of the time it prevents us from hitting with our axe. Let's stick to... Let's stick to our leather armor for now. We feel stronger. Cool. Our random stat increase worked to our benefit. Though, really, I am okay with any... Ooh, a plate armor. But it's not magical, so it won't really be of any use to us. Also, we don't have nearly high enough armor skill to really make use of it. It's... we have enough strength. Barely. You always want your strength to be at least equal to the encumbrance rating of the armor you intend to use. I don't know if that's the threshold at which something happens, or if it's just a good rule of thumb, but I like it either way. And certainly armor skill is more beneficial to heavier armors. Armor not only reduces the whatever penalty you may have for wearing the armor, melee and spellcasting wise, but also there we go. And that took care of our draining too. Armor skill also gives you additional armor class, scaling off of the base armor of the body armor that you are wearing. So that's really cool. Armor is very good. Okay, good, it didn't corrode our axe. Armor skill is very good for heavy armor wearers. I still recommend a few points if you're wearing leather armor or other lighter armor. Obviously, you don't need any if you have a robe. I don't think it does anything for robes whatsoever. But everybody else benefits from at least a handful of points in it. I would always put 5 points into it as a rule of thumb. Not right away, and if you're playing a primarily evasive character, evasion-based character, then certainly, by all means, level your dodging for quite some time before you turn on armor. But at some point, you might as well Flip it on. Can't hurt you. Can't hurt you at all. I mean, unless it takes away vital skill points from another skill. I'm glad that we managed to avoid Goggles. I wasn't trying really hard to specifically avoid him, but... A hill giant skeleton. That seems pretty tough. I'm also sad that we haven't found any more altars. Right, we're gonna back up and zap him with our wand a few times. The tricky thing about skeletons is that it doesn't show you their hit points. Same thing with zombies. Because they're already dead. It's, you know, it's hard to tell how much deader they are. Yeah, I think I'll turn on evocations for a little while. I really like evocations in general. There are some very powerful evocable items later in the game, and if we get a rod at some point, we'll want to start using it right away instead of having to wait to train it up a few levels. Let's... Oh, dear. Let's run away from the 20 monsters in that spot. And actually, let's retreat to the end of this hallway here instead of right at the entrance. And rest upstairs. We will be encountering that Goliath beetle if we choose to go back down these stairs, but I think that's okay. I think that's the only thing that followed us. And, oh dear, it does hurt quite a bit. Well, we can... Goliath beetles are similar to worms in that they are slower than you are. So you can kite them. Kiting being the term for drawing enemies that are slower than you along with you in order to... Ah, needles of poison. Bingo. Excellent. In order to deal damage to them from a distance or via a damage over time effect such as poison or a burning effect, sticky flame, that sort of thing. Kiting. Just imagine flying a kite, how it sort of tags along behind you but never really catches up. That's where it gets its name, as far as I'm aware. It makes enough sense to me that I think it should be the reason why it's called that. But then, nobody asked me. Oh dear, that was a little bit of a blunder. I was pressing tab instead of carefully watching what was going on, and those wizards got a few hits on me. Oh, there's that imp. Okay. Yeah, Dungeon 6, Dungeon 5, Dungeon 6 is where it kind of starts to get a little tough if you haven't found anything too exciting. Which we most certainly have not. Like I saw Mencore up there. I think that's his name, Mencore. I'll double check it when we find him again, which I'm sure we will. He's not really tough if you can close with him, but he can use pain, which is very deadly. I really should draining. Gosh. Oh dear. We're in trouble. Blech. Well, time to put on this... Oh no, goggles! No, let's get out of here. And go up another level. Oh goodness gracious. Very difficult. Alright, well let's certainly put on this. And let's eat this pear to keep us from starving to death, I suppose. And back down. Alrighty. Eventually we'll need a source of resist poison, of course. We are not naturally resistant. There's Mencore. Or Menkari, or Menkeur, or... I don't know. Something along those lines. This guy with the pole arm is really cramping my style. I feel drained, yes, I'm sure I do. Body's racked with pain. Alright, we need to get out of here. We'll pull the Sky Beast upstairs with us, but that's okay. Probably? Yeah, this chainmail, we really do need more armor skill. Ow. Okay, good, we got it. Okay, I'll eat some cheese. Hunger isn't as much of an issue for us as it is for, say, spellcasters. Okay, do I want to take both of those on at once? We'll just drink these 2 potions, head downstairs, and chop them up. And we'll keep boosting our strength. Since we know it's uncursed, we can try it out, see if it's better than our current one, but it's not. Alright, so how badly are we drained? We are drained... reasonably significantly. Oh, slimy green scales. I believe, if I am not mistaken, that slimy green scales at level 3 grant us resistance to poison, which means we have inevitability as far as our approach to poisonous branches. Though it could be ages before we get the final rank of it. Slimy green scales. Yeah, resist poison at max rank. So that's good. That's one that I definitely don't mind. I don't think it's the best, but it's certainly very good. I will never complain of having slimy green scales. Rarely. I have been known to complain at length about many things. Let's poison up Blork the Orc a little bit, and then chop him down. Blork the Orc generally isn't too scary. And neither are Goliath beetles. This blowgun actually has helped us out quite a bit. I'm quite pleased that we picked it up, along with those needles of poison. That's an altar to Chabriados, the snail god, god of the slow. I have had some very good runs with Chabriados. I have also had some very frustrating runs. Gosh, if only we cared about either of these things. We don't. Dire flails aren't very good anyway. Their base damage is very low for being a 2-handed weapon, and their accuracy is fairly abysmal. This is a cool little forest. You can burn down forests if you have a strong enough source of fire damage. Wands of flame will not burn things down, but I wonder, can this jelly be poisoned? No, I don't think so. Okay, we're not corroded yet. Ah, now we are. Great. Our War Axe has been corroded. We lost a point of damage. I hate that effect. Though, they are, possibly because everybody hates corrosion, they are changing it in 0.15. Corrosion will be more severe, but temporary, I think is what I have gathered from... This warrior is tough. He's not granting us any slack here. I was hoping that bat... Oh dear, did we trap ourselves in? Oh, we might be in serious trouble here. Let's drink this potion. Potion of haste. Okay, that actually might see us through this. Maybe not. Nope. Well, we did trap ourselves there in the end, and we could have survived had we gone the correct way to get out of the... Oh, we could have exited. I didn't realize that was a space out instead of... Oh, well. This was... I just feel like we kind of got... the short end of the stick on our item finds. Like, dungeon level 6, and we were operating with still basically our starting equipment. So not the best Demonspawn run, or any kind of run, rather, but Mr. Higgenbottom did the best that he could, and perhaps this helped you plan strategies for the early game a little bit better. Regardless, thanks for watching.